Hello, welcome back again to Ffarquhar branch. This time I'm not a bit stressed this time because last time I did a live stream here I was a wee bit edgy and concerned and worried, and that was mainly because I was well, we kind of are in terms of when we're getting ready for model railway shows out there. So I was trying to get everything sorted out and ready for the Belfast model railway show held by the Ulster Model Railway Club. And Ffarquhar was going to make its first ever appearance there because it was asked to appear in many shows in the past, but during those, every single time when they sent me an invite there, it was always on the weekend when I was booked to go away and see the Tugs exhibition and see my mates there. But so I always had to decline that there. But this year I actually had some free time. And I said, look, I'm happy to come along this time here. So yeah, send me the invite and I'll go over. And so we did. My dear friend Tim Yard, who's been my right hand man here at the shows now for the last couple of years now, he's been a great help to me here with operating Ffarquhar, and yeah, couldn't have done these shows here without him here. So cheers to you, mate. So yeah, so during my last live stream, I was panicking quite a lot that I didn't have much time to get everything sorted out. I didn't know what else needed to be sorted out, what needs to go here and there. There were new changes to the layout that I just did not have time for to get ready, and this would result in a few hiccups that we did eventually have during the show. So if you had seen me at the show and you may have noticed I was really bit stressed here, just bear that in mind. There was a few hiccups that I didn't want to go wrong, but they kind of did. But these happen. These always happen at shows, and we just have to take these things one at a time and just make the most of it, you know. But we did. We made the most of the show, and we got by quite well. And yeah, it was quite good. Again, it wasn't my best show here, but it gave us ideas as to what to be prepared for come next time, or what to do for next time. So with that in mind, I've actually decided to not to take forward any more shows for the rest of this year until it's ready to go back on the exhibition circuit. I do aim to come back to the North Down Model Railway Society show in April next year, which I think it's April next year. It could be May or March. I don't know. They haven't put the dates up yet. But I'm aiming to return to that if they want me to come back, which I really do because I love going to that show. I really, really do. It's such good. It really is. If a weekend show is really good fun. It's all right. A Saturday show is fine for the day, but a weekend one is where it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Really worth going there. Just spend the entire weekend driving trains, playing with your model railways. Awesome. It's awesome. So this is going to be the first of a few renovation videos I'm going to be doing here. It's either going to be live or pre-recorded. I haven't decided yet. I've yet to figure out what to do here. So this first video here, we're doing this live. So yes, it's all live. I am talking to you right now. I can't see what the chat's going on right now. So I think there's people in the chat. Is there people watching right now? I have no idea because the camera is so far away. I'm using my phone to record this here, so it's so far away right now. And I'm old and I do not. Okay, we have 11 people watching right now. Okay, so hello, you 11 people out there. More people will probably be joining the chat, but here we go. Here goes. All right, so this is going to be the first of a few renovation videos where I'm going to go through each area of Ffarquhar of the layout here, and I'm going to make a few changes here and there to the layout just to improve it, make it look a bit more close to the original as I possibly could, with a few additional additions, mostly just down to how the layout's going to be operated, how it's going to be worked, and just to make things a bit more easier for exhibition purposes. But try and keep the feel and the spirit of the original layout alive, and that's what's really important with this layout. Now, just a recap of what new additions have been made to the layout before the Belfast show. That is, let's see now, what new changes did we make? What did I make? Okay, yeah, so there were a few small minor changes there. So I think the buffers at the station head shop there, they were repainted into this nice vintage white color, which kind of reflects the buffers that's seen on the original layout. Looking at some recent photographs, and it shows that there. Buffers on the good settings there, they've also been repainted as well. This was from archive footage that I came across of the original layout, which the Tackman Railway have put up on their Facebook page as part of the Audio Extravaganza Challenge, Diorama Challenge, which I helped out with. Yeah, the sidings here have also been adjusted here down to the radius curve, so that's all new addition here. The new additions which I also included, which I really am surprised I didn't get right. I didn't actually include this at the very start of the layout replica build, because I didn't know these were in at the time. Because I was working off photographs of when the layout was like partially finished. Because in the railway model article, the Renovation wrote about here, the layout was like still undergoing construction stages. So there'll be areas where the track's not ballasted. There's some scenery additions that have not made it into it yet. So yeah, I was kind of working off those, and I think this kind of shows in the layout at the current stage. But anyway, these things are the token exchange points. I'll probably bring the camera in a bit closer so you guys can have a look at them in a wee minute. But yeah, these were important to the original layout as part of its operation sequence, because there are some movements on the layout where token exchanges is actually made. So I had to make sure I included those. Now, Ffarquhar Mark II does have a token exchange point. If you look very carefully, it's the little white box that you see just before the edges past the signal box. That's just where the token is left off. But Ffarquhar Mark I has two of these. So one of them serves the station, the other one serves the tramway to the quarry. So yeah, it's interesting to know that there actually were token exchanges to and from the quarry. But there you go. Let me see. Yeah, I think the other changes as well is just mainly down to additional rolling stock that I had made up here using original photographs I came across of the original layout that I forgot I had, and it showed some of the new additions of rolling stock which I've included, and hopefully these will all work out just fine during the layout's operation. So, during the Belfast show, we had a few issues, as I mentioned, and whenever you go to an exhibition, we always bring a report book. We started doing this back in 2022, I think it was, when my friends Luke, Stuart, and Luke and Stuart came over. Yeah, Luke, Ryan, and Stuart came over to help run the layout at the cultural show, which we didn't know at the time that this actually was the last cultural show that they were going to do, because I thought they were going to do one this year, and I inquired with the Friends of Cultural group if they were going to do another show, and they says no, we have no further interest, since the original show holder who started the whole thing over had retired from the role. The Friends of Cultural Group were no longer interested in hosting the model railway shows at the Rail Gallery at the Ulster Transport Museum, which is, it's a real shame, because that's actually one of their most very popular shows every 2 years. So why get rid of it? That really makes no sense at all. But anyway, back to this here. Yeah, so we have this little report book that we made up. It's just a little cheap jolly you can get out of any pound shop out there. And if anything were to happen to the layout, it's all jotted down here. It's all written down. Quote the phrase from the early episodes of Z Cars. If people out there have ever seen the show, I strongly recommend checking it out here. It's actually quite good. If you want to see a young Brian Blessed, it's actually really good. But there's a counter there. If anything hasn't been reported, the sergeant would always say, "Get it down in the book, lad." So yeah, so we've got the reports here from the Belfast show here. So there's quite a few. So I'll just read a few of them right here. So so it says here, a few issues when running the layout. Improvements need to be done for future shows. Station line needs an isolation section. Okay, so right about here in the station, there's an isolation. There's meant to be an isolation section that I wasn't aware of. So at some point I've put in an order for some isolation rail joiners, and they're going to be inserted into this section here. And I'll have a switch behind the layout just to ensure that, if any train comes in here, it's all isolated here, so that whilst another movement is taking place on the layout, it can be done without that engine interfering. Okay, uncoupling issues in the good stock and cattle dock, same with coupling up. Now, this is something that has happened numerous times actually, and it's to do with the. In fact, actually, come around here. I'll bring these around here. Come around here. See behind the scenes of Ffarquhar. Okay, here we go. Right, let me just adjust this tripod here. Also, you get to see my nice little cluttered living quarters, and also you get to see Cool Props Thomas over there. There he is. Okay, there you had your fill of Thomas. So let's focus on this section of the layout. Okay, so when it comes to operating the layout, we always had troubles with this section of the operating sequence. So when Percy's doing his morning shunt, the last thing he always does is that he always leaves the cattle wagon and the goods wagon here in the siding. Now, it's probably down to whatever way I've laid the road here. This is just all cardstock that I've put down, just some very fine card. But for some reason, Percy always, I don't know, the wagons don't always uncouple right. Sometimes they do, like that there, and they do. Sometimes the cow wagon does so there. But when it comes to coupling, heck was that? Oh, it's just a figure I had on the table. Sorry, never mind. Right, so when it comes to coupling these back up again, sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. So Percy would probably come in, connect up. Well, he's done that there pretty much perfectly here, but there's always the chances there that it doesn't always work. So so sometimes you have to take these things with a pinch of salt as to whether or not it would work or whether or not it doesn't. It's all down to whatever way things worked. Sometimes Percy would cut out maybe on this curve, so I don't know, maybe I should probably maybe add an extra bit of power into this here, but I can't because this siding is actually has an isolation section in it, so I have to include that there because when Percy comes in, I have to isolate this here for another train to come in and so on. So. But yeah, I think it's just this coupling system is just always giving me a wee bit of bother. And again, once in a while, there's always times where Percy cuts out, and it's really down to his small wheelbase. I think it's also worth pointing out as well that I also use Insole Frog points for my layout. I have talked to Pico about this. Is there any way possible? Can they make an a live frog turnout for the set track radius points? And they said they wouldn't because they didn't see that there's a potential market for that there. However, not long, a couple of years afterwards, they released a Unifrog point for which has the same radius as their set track curve points. So, Pico, there is a market out here for these ones here for these set track points. It's just you just need to know. You just need to be aware of it. Please, somebody get in contact with Pico. Say that a live frog turnout is required in the market, but it needs to be made. Anyway, so yeah, that's one of the few issues that we've actually had here. So I'm probably gonna have a wee look here again at some point, see what way I can get this this siding worked up, sorted out. Chances are I might actually have to take up this intersection here, this intersection of the of the siding because I think this is where most of the trouble comes from. I've tried. It's probably down to like the track gauges here because like parts of the card has actually swollen up a wee bit here, and I think that's what's causing quite a few of the issues. But I've tried thinning this down as best as I possibly can, but somehow it still results in issues and operating wise here. So I'm probably just going to take this out and just maybe um, put like a layer of paint or something across it in the same color as the road, and hopefully that will fix that issue. If not, then I don't know what to do. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, that's one of the main issues. Okay, next issue here is that we have here is good siding and head shunt need extending by 1 inch or more. Right, so this is the resulting of Percy's morning shunting that he has with his goose train. Now, we were going to have a go at operating the layout to the 1965 operation sequence, which we were very kind of the Talcum Railway were very kind enough to let us have copies of the original sequence cards, which they have in the order study. So we've been busy studying them to see what movements are to be done on Farquhar. And it mentions Percy having this extra long goods train at the very start. So we had to work out exactly what wagons he's required to take. And then it was basically a practice run of getting Percy to come into the station or come into the goods yard and start doing the shunting. However, once he comes into this goods siding here, I found that when he gets up to the buffers, up to about here, the train is not long enough. Sorry, the train is long is far too long to clear the points. So basically, you have basically an inch over the point blades, and that's something we can't abide for. Which also explains as well, because it also says in that there that he uses a small brake van for his goods train here. So that's probably a reason why Percy always has a small brake van with his goods trains. So so yeah, that was one. That was just the main difficult thing. Like, what can we do? And so I thought, like, well, maybe it's probably just these points. That's not these points. These buffers, the siding here, that's not long enough for this train. So I took away the buffers and moved Percy up to see if that does anything. There was a little. It closed off that. It moved the train a wee bit further up here, but there was still a gap. There was still like some extruding over some wagon extruding over the points. And so I thought, right, what else can I do to fix this? And the only option it was to move this retaining wall back. And I had looked inside the tunnel to see like how much room do I actually have to push the retaining wall back. And there actually is another inch or so of space that I can probably move the wall back, and probably maybe extend the siding a bit. I don't know. I'll have to have a good look at it here and see. But yeah, chances are I will be resulting in moving this retaining wall back and see what can be done. Just so you know, I've already started the process of actually starting to remove this hill, and this retaining wall, this section here, is actually ready to come out now. So it's just a loose fit here, just so I can show you guys what's happening. But I did a test of this yesterday with the retaining wall pushed back and Percy's goods train reassembled. And by the way, if you're wondering why I can't assemble the goods train right now, here's just because this section of track here is removed at the moment here, which I'll explain in just a wee minute. So I can't assemble the train for you right now. But yeah, I did a test with there, and yeah, the brake van clears the points literally just on the edge of these point blades here. So, oh, you can't see that there. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So yeah, it can just clear these point blades just here. So that's that's solved. So hopefully in the next maybe later this week I'll start and get this extended. Also, the retaining walls are starting to get a bit tired. I'm going to see like getting these replaced with new ones. As you can see here from the back here, this is starting to wear out here, and also the color is starting to wear out as well. It's becoming a wee bit tired looking now, which yeah, it's, definitely need to see about getting that sorted out, and plus the paper is starting to wrinkle as well. So so yeah, I'm going to replace these with new ones here, and I've actually found online there's actually a website called 3DK, I think it's called 3DK. It's made by somebody up in Scotland who does these printout model kits very cheaply, but they're also really detailed. I actually really am surprised like how detailed they actually are. So that's a little promo for that website there if you want some printout car kits. But he has some brick texture papers that you can print out that pretty much actually has a similar pattern to that of the old MrkI brick papers that used to be made back in the old days. MrkI was pretty similar. I think it was made by Hamblins. They were part of Hamblins' range. Renovation bought a lot of it, used a lot of the brick papers for his model railways. And I've actually got a few MrkI papers actually, but they're part of a building, which I'll have to try and probably see if there's a way I can scan them and see if I can make duplicates of it, just to make it a bit more easier for me. But I don't know. But in this case here, that's more like for the stone one here. I'm actually looking for the brick ones. But this website here has has a very similar brick paper texture. Ooh, hard to talk about today. But yeah, it looks very similar here, so I'll replace all this here with that paper and make up some new ones, and hopefully that'll fix that gap here. I'll also change here, instead of using this foam board, I'm going to use some pulp board that I actually have, which is going to be, it'll be a bit more rigid and more secure, and it'll secure that all in place better. Plus, I'm going to move this one back a wee bit further here, because the road access to this crossing here is very, very narrow. So I'm going to move that back a bit further, just so that makes that road access a bit more wider for the cars to get in and out. Right, just give me a second. So that cup of tea there. There might be a few tea breaks during this live stream, so just bear with me. Okay, right, so what's the next bit here? Right, needs to install power sections to fill yard and run round for better operation purposes. All right, so this is where I mentioned this little piece of track here. So this is come on, camera work with me. Oh, well, just lift it up. You guys don't mind being lifted up, do you? Excuse the shaky camera work. Anyway, this is where I mentioned this piece of track being removed here. So this is part of the run around track sections. I think, did I actually install power cables? No, I didn't. I thought I did. Oh. I thought I actually originally did put some power cables in this section at the very start of this project, but it appears I didn't. Oh well. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to try and get some extra pickups put in this setting here, because whilst it's all fine to run trains here and there, the actual power pickups for the station goods sidings here is actually located here at this end of the layout on this station head shunt. And so every time I'm running Precious Goods train, I always have to run them into this siding here first if I need to get access to these ones over here. But it gets a wee bit tricky, because when you're trying to push these over this curve, there were times where you would probably result in a train derailing. So I think it's probably better if I ran the trains into this siding here and then push them back along the straight. It makes it a bit more easier, which is why I mentioned about extending this siding here for Percy's goods train. But in order for me to do that there, I have to have access to this section of the tracks, hence why I need to put in this extra power pickup. And yeah, that's just a very simple job to do here. Very simple, very quick. And also, yeah, I need to also install a power pickup here in the siding here, basically just to this track here, because this is the one I need to get power access to for the quarry sidings and the enthusiast train sidings for the layout. Talking about enthusiast trains, we actually had Stephanie running on the layout as a enthusiast train, and yeah, it actually ran pretty well. We actually got in future we're actually going to be running Stephanie as a push pull for the enthusiast trains, because it just looks good. Plus, also there isn't enough room for both Stephanie and his coaches for the siding that he's designated for, which is a shame though, because it'd be fun to actually include him in that there. But so that's kind of why during the show we had Stephanie only pulling one coach rather than two, as per the original. But that's just one of those things that we just have to. It's one of the few things that we just have to say. Look, this is just we just have to accept this here, that we can't always get everything that we want with doing replicas. So that's just has to be. However, when I get around to resuming on my work with Ellsbridge, I'm going to include Stephanie's two saloon coaches this time around. So hopefully that will do quite well. People will be asking, like, when am I going to resume on that project? I'm going to have a look maybe later on this year and see what way I can get about coming back to that project again, because the baseboards are still there. They're still there, just waiting to be made up, really, or waiting to be waiting for the track to be laid down. I've got the track all ready to go. It's just getting the time to do it, which I do have time now, but this layer comes first. This layer comes first, because this is the one that's going to shows at the moment. So yeah, there's that there. Okay, and the last thing on my list for improvements here, the span wheel couplings need to be improved or reinstalled to all rolling stock. Right. Now, I've had an email discussion with Wizard Models, who supply me with the span wheel couplings. That's where you can buy them nowadays. I've said to them about extending their coupling systems to see, for layers that have tight radius curves. They have, I have acknowledged them that I have actually extended the couplings on some of my rolling stock, which I can prove so here. So this cattle wagon, for example, here, you can see here how I've actually extended the coupling just by cutting the bit off and just extending it. That has helped a good deal with getting the train around tight curves not there, but the hooks aren't always the same length. So this would often result in maybe buffer locking taking place or just issues with coupling up. And I've mentioned this to Wizard Models. Now, Wizard Models did say that did give me some helpful advice as to how to improve this here, but they said that they weren't in mindset to make up a new version of their couplings with an extended hook. They just don't see potential in that really, or even doing like private commissions. So, uh, so the result is that I'll just probably just have to try and make up a wee jig, or if somebody is skillful with brass etching, I'd be very grateful if a set of Spangler couplings with an extended hook would be possible, but. I don't know. I don't know whether if anybody in the my side of the Thomas fandom has actually got to that stage yet of doing photo etching. But if you have, that would be most interested. Okay, so that completes all the list. I think of all the issues that happened at the Belfast show on in my wee book here. There are a few other ones as well here, which has been noted here as well. The first one here, this is basically for one of our main engineers. So Thomas is well, he failed both days of the show. So the first day he failed about 45 minutes before the show finished, and the reason for that there was basically because his motor broke away from his gearbox, came loose from his gearbox, and needed to be fitted back into place. It was just moving around loosely. So it was an easy enough fix to do. I got him working again the next day, and we had him running again. But he failed about pretty much halfway through the show by the gearbox housing broke away from the chassis, and I don't know what way the firm who fitted the motor to Thomas how they fitted it in place. So I decided just to take him off the layout, and instead he pretty much covered Thomas's trains for the whole duration of the show. I did have a spare Thomas. We brought the E2 Thomas with me to the show, but there were some issues with the motor, which caused some running issues. I mean, it ran fine. It runs perfectly fine going forwards, but when it comes to running backwards, somehow the motor starts to jitter very violently and causes the engine just to shake and make a massive grinding noise when it moves back. And I couldn't understand why it did that there, so I had to take it off the service. So that means we didn't have any Thomases running on the layout during the show. So that was a real bit of a pity though, but it is what it is. So Thomas has now been sent away to this the firm who fitted his motors. So they're going to have a look at him and see if they can get him working again. So he was posted away today here. So hence why he's not here to see us. I've also got a spare repath Thomas that I'm going to make up for this layout, because during the course, people will say to me like, well, why can't you use like a replica of, like, say, GMT Thomas, or why can't you run the E2 Thomas on your layout? That show's not there. See, the thing with me is I'm a stickler for originality. That's kind of why I have to keep very strict to when it comes to replicating my models for the layout. There's some models I will customize to make them look like how they look today, but I would like to have them in the guise that they were back then, back when they operated this layout. So that's why I have Percy in this dark green livery, because that was the livery he was painted in back in those days. If you look at the old archive footage on the Telecom Railways Audio Diorama Challenge trailer, you'll see the original Percy in this livery working on Ffarquhar Mark 1. That's I have to, if it's shown like that there, I have to stick with it. I really do have to stick with it like that there. I don't know about the 6 though. The number 6 that's just there for the time being, just so people know it's Percy. But I don't know what color the number 6 was. Was it put on similar to Henry's one? I do not know. We have no proof of that to confirm it, but there you go. Anyway, so yeah, I have this other second repath Thomas I have here. This is actually going to be done up, and it's going to be in the guise of Thomas in a later version of his livery that he wore when operating the layout. So the Thomas you often see working this layout recently, he's in the guise of Thomas when he first worked this layout, and over time during the course of this layout's 12-year operation on the expedition circuit, Thomas had a few upgrades added onto there. I'm sure there's a video on the Talcon Railways Audrey weekend live stream which tells you all the history about that there. But he had these new upgrades fitted onto him there, and yeah, this version of Thomas I'm making now, it's going to have those fitted onto it. But unfortunately, the custom-made chassis that was made for that model, made for me by my friend Sparkshot, it unfortunately broke its gears a couple of years back before this layout went to the Cultural show, and I haven't that's ever since then that chassis has been left dormant, so I haven't had a chance to have a look at it again, see if there's a way I can get it working again. But I have spoken to Gavin earlier today and asked him like what was the make of the gearbox that was used for that chassis, and he gave me the details of it there. So I've put in an order for a new gearbox, and hopefully when that arrives, I'll get to work and getting that fixed, and hopefully that Thomas model will be working again. So so I mean, it's all paint. The model's painted up and ready to go. It's just that it's just waiting on its chassis to be fixed. That's just the main issue. So, but yeah, I can't run a Ginty Thomas or an E2 Thomas on this layout because they weren't on the original layout. It has to be a straight repath engine for a Thomas. That's just how it is. Like I said, I've made exceptions for the likes of Percy again, because you can't buy a Larco kit anymore, Larco brass kit, because they're no longer made, and you just have to rely on your own scratch build versions of Percy. I mean, like I said, this version of Percy, this is literally a Bachmann Percy chassis and footplate, and the body is a custom 3D print that I think it was 2A Rails that made this for me to specifically fit onto the Bachmann chassis, and yeah, so it looks really, really good. Really does look the part indeed. And I actually brought this to you Audrey weekend during the summer to compare it next to the original Percy, and again, I was very shocked at the length of both models. It's actually because for some reason Bachmann got the length of the model right. That's actually really shocking. I've actually got the length of this here right, of the footplate, so it actually matches the original Percy. So very, really pleased with that. Really, really am pleased. I think probably in future I might maybe tweak the body length of this here. I don't know. Maybe I don't know whether the body is the same length or not. There, I have no idea. I have to look back at my photographs because I did take photographs of this with the original Percy for comparison. But yeah, you get that sorted out some days, but not right now. Not right now. Anyway, what can I do today for this live stream? Because let me see, how long have I got? Right. Okay, so I can't do any building work right now. For this video, I'm basically just breaking down the analysis of what is happening. I'll just bring up my head here because I don't think you guys like to see talking to my lower section, because it'll be a very different category of video if that were to happen. So yeah, this is just, like I said, this is just a breakdown of all the issues that I need to look at on Ffarquhar. Sort of, like I said, I'm going to start at the main problems that I have according to the notes in this notebook. And once I have those done, once I've got all those sorted out and done a few test runs of the trains with the operation sequence to make sure everything works according to plan, works absolutely fine, it's all perfect, then we can get down to some more creative stuff. In terms of that, what I mean is that we're going to be doing a wee bit more improvements to the scenery, some buildings. We're going to do some work on the cameo scenes. There's actually a new cameo scene that's going to be included into the layout, which was actually included on the original layout, which is what I would like to nickname as the cow invasion. That's basically because in the later years of the Reverend Orgy's exhibition of the layout, he included a scene where just outside the Three Beetles, a herd of cows that are being moved from one field to another causes a traffic jam, and I find that to be quite insane. So I'm going to recreate that there. So I've actually bought the cows. They're right over there. It just test fitting at the moment, but yeah, I need to get ready to get those stuck down here at some point. But some of the cows need to be need to be touched up with some paint because there are a few ones that I think are in different colours that need to be looked at. There's also going to be some building changes as well. Like I said, there's going to be replacement buildings. So, for example, Thomas Cousins is going to be, this building here is going to be replaced because I've actually got a replacement kit for it. So that's the replacement kit there. So I'm going to get this made up at some point. I'll probably do another live stream where I do cover this here. So just keep that up. I want to try and not damage it as best I possibly can before the next live stream. Yeah, so this one's going to be retired, this building here. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it here because yeah, I've had this since I first started my model area exhibition service here. So I don't know. I might keep it on as a wee memento. I might put it in my display case, just saying like, yeah, this is the first Thomas Cousins that I made, and yeah, hang on to it for a bit. Yeah, and also I've mentioned a few times here this signal box. I am going to get rid of this signal box here because I despise it. I really despise it quite a lot. People will say, "Oh, it's quite nice in there." I really don't like it. I really don't like how I've made it up. It doesn't look like the original. It doesn't look like the original at all. I've actually seen pictures of what the original one looks like, and it doesn't look like this. There's a lot more work went into the original signal box. For one thing, it actually had from appearances in photographs and video clips, it had interior fitted into it there. So again, that's something I probably will have to try and work out how I'm going to do that. So yeah, that's going to be another scratch build video I'll probably do for this this video series. See how I get on from there. And also, let's see. There's going to be some buildings where there's going to be some buildings I'm going to make up that are going to be interchangeable. So by that I mean is that I'm going to keep the same buildings on the layout, but there's going to be times where I'm going to swap them over with other ones, just to give visitors to the layout, to give them an idea as to which version of Ffarquhar we're going to be operating at certain shows. So, for one example is the Built Easy station building, which was used for Ffarquhar Station. That's going to be swapped over with a Dapple X Airfix church kit, and that's going to be placed in there to stand in for Ffarquhar for just to give people an idea as to which version of Ffarquhar we're going to be operating at the time, because yeah, that was made at the time. And also the Stone Villa house, which was used for the Neatley family. Neatley family, that's who lives in that place. If you haven't read the original stories of the Little People, I strongly recommend reading those there because they're actually quite fun to read. But yeah, that house was replaced with an Airfix detached house kit. I think I have one somewhere. I don't know if I still have it or not. But if I don't have one here, I'll probably put an order for one and try and recreate it using archive photos and video clips of the original, just so I get the color scheme right, and put that in place there. So yeah, so those two buildings are going to be swapped out just to give people an idea as to what time period the layout is being operated. I've mentioned a few times, I think maybe in calls out there's one section in the layout that the original layout did have in its layer years, which I'm not going to include because it's actually in an area which I kind of enjoyed making. I thought it was quite nice, and it's basically that corner hill over there. In the corner hill there was a farm, basically like a little small farm cottage was inserted over there, and that was the Sawyer Thatch cottage. That was made from the Airfix Thatch cottage kit. You'll still see that building. It's actually still around. It's currently being used now on the Audrey Elbow extension for Ffarquhar Mark II, and people often mistaken it for Mrs. Kennedy's College, but it's not. It's actually Sawyer's Thatch. So that was over there in that corner. But I was thinking about, like, could I actually have that hill interchangeable, so I can actually lift it out and put a new one in place, but I'm just worried in case I might risk damaging that section of the layout, so I'm not going to bother with that here. So that's one part of replicating Ffarquhar branch I'm not going to do. So yeah, that's that's it there. However, I will recreate Soil Statch for my replica of Mark Ffarquhar Mark II because it's part of the elbow. I've modeled the elbows. I've made the baseboards for the elbow section, so it's going to be there. So you'll still get a chance to see it. Um, oh yes, one last building that needs to be, one last structure that needs to be replaced. I'm gonna have a wee look and see if I can replace it or not, or it depends on what way I build up here. Is the road bridge? The road bridge. My friends Luke and Stuart have mentioned this to me in the past when they were over. I can't have a agree with them here. I'm not too convinced that the road bridge looks right. It's not. It's not exactly how I remember it in the photographs. Because I think in the photographs of the original layout there, the bridge is actually goes across the layout, goes across the railway tracks at an angle. Whereas in my case, I have it going straight horizontally across the tracks. So yeah, I'm going to see. I might have a look and see if there's a way. Can I actually make a new version um, of that bridge to replace? So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to I'm not going to rip the bridge out first. I'm going to see about making the new one first, compare it to see if it will look good on the layout first, and then make the decision. Right, shall I take this out and replace with that one here? We'll see what happens. But the transition from that there should be okay. Should be easy enough to do. So it's just a matter of being very careful and taking it very easily when it comes to removing sections of the layout for something new to put in its place. But hopefully the operation will go swimmingly. Um, and yeah, just other areas on the layout here, it's mostly just down to tidying up scenery. Some parts of the scenery look a wee bit tired, it needs to be touched up a bit more. I need to add a few more detailed sections around here. I think the three beetles could do with some more flowers because looking at some photographs there, the three beetles does have a lot more flowers in its garden than this one does. I think there's only like two varieties of flowers in the garden there, so I'm gonna have to make make this look a bit more impressive and make it look a bit more like a pub. You know, I mean, there's no beer barrels, there's no clutter. That's basically what it needs. The layout needs some clutter because it's too clean. It's far too clean. It needs to be cluttered up a bit to make it look a bit more interesting. Thomas Cousins needs some petrol pumps installed. Needs some oil barrels. There's actually in some photographs I've seen here where there's actually a pile of tires on at the side of the wall. I haven't put those in yet here, so I've got to have a wee look online see if there's a stack of tires I can find. I think Urban Hobbies has some plaster mold versions, so I'll have a look at those and see what I can get. But yeah, it's like those sort of things I kind of needs worked into the layout. It's just small things. It's just really small things here, but they will make such a huge difference. Such a huge difference come the next show, and hopefully it'll look good, and hopefully fingers crossed it'll win some awards because well, we've been beaten by a couple of layouts at the shows, and let me see. There was actually a best in show thing for the Belfast show, and the layout of Donegal won the best layout show because I think it's because it's a local layout and it looks all impressive. It's all nicely detailed out there. So yeah, I think that's probably. I think it's wherever you win the prize there. And there was other shows as well. The other layouts that also won some prizes as well for I think for best performance or best looking. I don't know other stuff out there. So so yeah, it'd be nice if Farquhar could maybe win a prize or so. We'll see. But one thing I do want to do come the next show, which we didn't do we couldn't do it at this show though because well for obvious reasons, is to have a commentary being made. Farquhar had a commentary. If you were ever at the Preston show back in March, we operated Ffarquhar, and we also operated to the commentary sequence. We had a copy of the commentary printed out, and we were reading it out as the trains went along. It is such fun. I really must say this, it is such fun just reading the commentary and seeing the trains perform that commentary. It's really, really good. And you'd be surprised like how many people actually really enjoy seeing the trains performing and hearing the commentary at the same time. I was so amazed like how many people stayed behind just to see what was going to happen next. And there are some people that actually stood there and sat through the entirety of the commentary sequence. Let's see, the commentary lasts for about 25 minutes or so. It's like per sequence. That is amazing. So we're talking like let me see. We're talking about 75 minutes. 75 minutes just standing in the one spot watching the layout perform and just hearing everything. That's dedication. It really is dedication for visitors. So that's something I would like to try and do with this one here. Again, we were very fortunate enough to have a copy of the commentary being to be sent to us here from the Ffarquhar area. And have to send a huge thanks to the Renovation Railway Museum for their help with this replica. Because without them, I do not know where we'd be with at this stage here. So yeah, so it's upward and onward here with Ffarquhar. So lots to be done, but you know, we won't be short material for the next video. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this little live stream progress so far, just to give you little introductions to what's going to be happening with this project. And hopefully I'll be doing another live stream later in the week, going through the next stages of this layout renovation. So first one I think is possibly going to be the extension of the siding and the addition of the additional power outage to return loop, and after that then we'll see how things go. Right, I can see here from all the way over here that the live chat is actually buzzing away, so I'm just going to take a wee look at your comments. Okay, so we have quite a lot of comments here. Okay, how have we got here now? Okay, so Coat Bismarck. Hi Michael, love your episodes in Thomas. Thank you very much. A couple of people saying hello. First, let me see. Big's Hobbies. First time catching a stream. Hope you're having a great day. I am indeed. So thank you very much. Ghost Engineer. Hello, Mike, and greetings from America, New York City. Oh, hello. Got somebody from New York coming in. That's very cool. Big's Hobbies. What are you saying? A historically accurate Audrey replica layout is a neat idea. The layers today are great, don't get me wrong, but being able to see a likeness to how they would have run decades ago is awesome too. Yes, it's really, really is. We've got Rail Rocket. Hi, love your kitchen table. Kitchen table? My kitchen table is behind the camera. So I don't know what you're commenting about. Wow, Mr. Whitehouse. This is from David Russell. Wow, Mr. Whitehouse. Like your Thomas stories, Reverend Audrey and Christopher Audrey would be proud of you. I don't know what Reverend Audrey would say here, but again, I don't even know what Christopher Audrey would have said about my stories, but I do have a signed copy of my story of Royal Engine from him, so that was kind of nice of him. Northwestern Steam, hello all, and lovely to see you at the Belfast show with Timothy Yard. Oh yes, that was you at the show. I didn't realize. There was somebody. Ellie Russell. North versus Ellie Russell. Oh, sorry. There were many people at that show. I literally have like a very blank memory of some of the interactions I had at the show. So you have to forgive me if I can't remember you. Really, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was great. It was great to show that. I do remember there was one person at the show who spent quite a lot of time with Ffarquhar, and they were videotaping and photographing the layout quite a lot. So I don't know who that could have been. A certain Thomas fan at some point. I don't know. We were told that there were going to be some Thomas fans who were going to make an appearance at the show, but some of them didn't turn up in the end because of something must have happened behind the scenes or something that they changed their minds at the last minute. But yeah, like I said, the Belfast show was good. I actually will admit it. There was some good stuff I did see here. There's some really nice layouts I really enjoyed seeing. let me see. I think my favorite layout of the show was a layout called Port Roy. I think it was called Port Roy, and it was this nice. I would call it like a mountainside based layout. It was not. It wasn't like Snowdon type mountain railway. It was basically like a railway that goes. A standard gauge railway goes out into the mountains, and they have these lovely, beautifully rock faces. And I could see them when I was getting close to the layout. So I saw from the distance. I was like, these rock faces look really, really good. How did they create those? And then as I got a bit closer, I actually realized, oh God, they're actually photographs. So he's actually got actual photographs of rock faces and had them on printed paper and then stuck them onto the layout. And whatever way the contours of the scenery is made, it kind of crumples the paper a bit here to make them look like rock faces, and it's really convincing. It really, really is convincing. Plus, he also used this. He also used the same method as grasses I use, which is using hanging basket liner. So I actually was really pleased that seeing somebody else is using that method. But he used a mixture of basket liner, static grass, and basic like wooden stakes, bushes, and polyfiber stuff like that. But it was very good. I think it's probably like my favorite layout in terms of scenery wise. So yeah, it's very, very impressive. Very, very impressive indeed. There wasn't really that much trades at the show. Like there wasn't that many trade stalls at the show, though I did actually get a few items at the show, which I thought was quite good. Like I got a wee model railway mug, which hang on a sec. I think I've got it here. Yep. So I've got this little wee model railway mug. My model railway mug, as it says. There you go. And it says keep it close and penalty 15 shillings. No, sorry, 25 shillings. Correction. So yeah, but that probably might be the penalty if anybody tries to steal my tea. It's 25 shillings for the replacement. Oh, hello. We've got some more comments in the chat. Give me a second. I'll answer them real quickly here. So just grab a sneaky beaky. By the way, if Sparkshot's watching this here, the last live stream I did here, he kept on asking you about biscuits here. So there you go, McVitie's Tasties. There you go. McVitie's Tasties promotional. Anyway, this right here. Oh, no question, Steve. You were the one that was giving Timothy all the suggestions about the 3D print. Oh yes, yeah. I remember you now. Yes, that's fine. David Russell. Also, did you went to the Aldrich Shows Outcast before? Yes, I was. I was at Aldrich Weekend. In fact, I'm actually one of the volunteers at Aldrich Weekend. So I'm usually the ones who help operate, who mostly operates Ffarquhar branch. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this year's Aldrich Weekend. It was actually really good fun. The Aberystwyth display was actually good fun to prepare and to get sorted out because I remember it was my it was my birthday the day before the weekend started, Friday before the weekend, and I remember myself and Timothy Yard spending a good day, a good while getting the. It was the day before. Yeah, it was the day before that actually. Yeah, it was the day before. We were getting all the stuff and all sorted out for the Aber display, and I just remember just getting all the information sorted out here. I had a blast. I really enjoyed that. It was such good fun. Learned a whole lot of stuff there, and it was turned out really, really well. Really well. I'm really glad people enjoyed the displays. So, yeah, the Friday, like I said, the Friday before was my birthday, and we had a wee. I remember after the ABBA display was all put up here, we went out for a nice dinner in a an Italian restaurant that was in Tallinn, and had a wee birthday dinner, which was quite nice. So if you guys were at the Friday evening event here, that's probably why you didn't see me there. I was away having my dinner because I was very hungry at that time, so I wasn't able to. I wasn't about to attend the evening event. So I'm sorry you guys were looking out for me here, but that's how it is. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I really did. Actually, here's something I want to share with you guys here now. Oops, sorry, it's a fly here that keeps pestering me here. So Now, something happened on the Saturday. Well, I've told this to a few friends actually here, and they were very amazed by this here. But I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. And listen, I don't want to. This is not me boasting. I'm only just relaying what happened here. Now, every time when the Orgy weekend takes place, something happens. I don't know what it is. Something happens that either helps me with my audio knowledge out there. So like, for example, there's probably like new information I was not aware of. Um, could be like the uncover of like something that we haven't discovered yet, that hasn't been discovered or it hasn't been revealed. You know, those sort of things. So I thought like right, I've pretty much seen all of the model railway pretty much nearly all of the model railway archives from the Audrey study. What else is there that's going to surprise me? Actually, nothing, because there wasn't anything else to surprise me from the study. But it was when we were operating Ffarquhar at the Aber exhibit that this happened, and I got a wee bit teary. I actually nearly burst into tears because of this. Because I got, I mean, I'm a grown man, for heaven's sake. I shouldn't be crying, but this literally moved me. I was so moved by this here. Veronica Chambers, Reverend Audrey's daughter, came up to see us at the exhibit. She wanted to see the exhibit and see what all we have on display. And yeah, it was great. It was lovely seeing her. It always is lovely seeing her. And she walked around and she was all taking in all the displays, looking at all the information there. And I was working Farquhar at the time, and what was I doing? I was either shunting Percy's goods train or Thomas into into the local lay-by saying, I don't know what it was. Put this biscuit down here because it's melting my fingers. Anyway, I'm busy working away here on the layout with the controller in my hands. Veronica walks past me here, and she's standing over here, and she's looking right at me. She's looking right at me. I know she's watching me. I'm just trying to make sure the train is operating fine. The light's working fine. And who was that? Who was with her? I think it was Matt. I can't remember who it was. It could have been Matt. It could have been James. Anyway, I think maybe it was Matt actually. But anyway, Veronica goes over to him, stands with him for a bit here, and I'm opening the light, and I can hear what was going on, what was being said, and this is what I heard from Veronica. And this is what broke me. I literally was about to fall in good burst in tears at this point. And she says, see him over there who's operating the layout. The way he's working the trains and holding the controller, that's how he used to do it. That's exactly how he used to work the layout. And that's that I can still see him today standing there working the layout. That's literally just a mirror version of him. And I heard this, and I was thinking to myself, is she actually seeing her father through my operational delay? I was like, I can't. Oh my god, this is too much actually. So like for some reason I've reminded Veronica of how Reverend G. Somehow whatever way I must have been whatever way I was standing or whatever way I was posed. I don't know what it was, but for some reason I somehow reminded Veronica of her father operating the layout. And I literally had to pause during the operations because I was literally trying to hold back tears. And as soon as Veronica left the room, I quickly turned to Tim of Yard, who was with me. He was working the field yards, and I says, take over. I says, take over. And he says, what's wrong? I says, like, I need a moment. I actually need a moment here. He's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And I said, I didn't know what I said, did you hear what Veronica just said just now? He's like, no. And I told him, and he was like, mate, that's the highest compliment you could ever get. I'm like, I know, but to quote what I said to Andrew Brenner back in May 2017, why me? Why me? Why it has to be me to be the one to be the subject? Why can't it be somebody else? Oh, so yeah, Veronica, it's the little things that moves people here, but I was so moved by it. I'm so touched by this. That's one of the highest compliments I've ever been given. Even not even for like having making a replica of that, but actually be even operating the Ffarquhar branch exactly how her father did it. That's, oh my god, that's so moving. Anyway, I don't want to keep boasting about it. I don't want to make it sound like I'm boasting about this here, but I'm just relaying what happened. But that's what happened to me at Orchard Weekend for And I'm still shocked by that. I'm still shocked by that. Even just telling that. So yeah, there's we little thing for you. Uh, what's this here? David Russell says your miniature railway could visit the island of Sodor. Um, you're referring to miniature railway adventures, yeah. Apparently, in miniature railway adventures, the characters don't visit Sodor. There was in the early days there may have been some ideas about the characters visiting Thomas or whatnot, but this was quickly dropped because I think back in those days I was trying to do something different, trying to do something that wasn't Thomas, because everybody else back then. Because I started Miniature Railway Adventures exactly at the same time as Simon Martin did the British Railway series. Would you believe that? So both Miniature Railway and British Railway series kind of share the same year release. So there you go. That's something new for you guys to think about. But yeah, I don't see that's possible though. But I think the closest we have to like Thomas visiting Miniature Railway is probably just down to like sound effects. Anyway, what else have we got here in the comment section? Um, really hope Duncan and Duke could be at the fifth All Duke Stumbling. I can't be. I can't know for sure. Northwestern Steam. Well, no, it is the big one. Oh, that's probably to the other thing here. Yes, the event I told about her about Led, and she seemed quite impressed. Oh yeah. Well, you talked to her about Nimbus. That was pretty good. I wonder what she thought of it. It's a nice engine. If you guys don't know, Nimbus was a little live steam engine that we had at Drumaway Junction Military Railway, which went for a few owners. The last owner I think was from my friend Richard, um, who I'm good friends with Model Railways not there. He was the previous owner of Nimbus, and then he sold it to Northwestern Steam. Sorry, sorry, I didn't get a chance to see he's in there. But yeah, yeah, Nimbus is a nice running engine. It's a little small, semi-core gauge. Is it a Titch? I think it's a Titch logo. I think. Um, so yeah, it's a nice wee engine out there. I've seen it run the drum away, and it's really nice, really nice indeed. There. So yeah, I'm glad it's gone to a good owner, and I've been told that you've been working Nimbus quite hard there. So at least you know it's in good hands. So, um, but yeah, nothing else I can say about that. Have we got any more comments? Yes. Oh, what's that username? I can't make it out. Pardon. Waden Western? Is it Waddling Western It? I think that's how you pronounce it there. Hey, how's it going? It's all going quite good. I'm just trying to make the most of my free time now here because my animation job now has ended for a while because my contract ended, and my time on the production is now, my work is now finished. So I'm currently waiting on the next stage to come through. But in the time being here, I'm making the most of my spare time here, just trying to get some stuff sorted out around the house, as well as getting stuff sorted out with Ffarquhar, and I'm also trying to see about applying for a part-time job as well. So it's not television work or anything or writing stuff. It's just like shop work, just that sort of stuff. Just to help me just to stay me by, see how things are going. Oh, sorry. All right. So Nimbus is not a Titch. I always thought it was a Titch. No, it's a Sweet Pea. It's a Sweet Pea class type engine. So, oh, my tea's gone cold. Ugh. Put that in the sink. Oh well. Anything else here? Oh, I had a bottle of Pepsi Max in there, but it seems to have drunk itself. Anyway, right. I think that's pretty much it now, guys. I'm going to have to end the stream now here because I have to get ready for tonight's Model Railway Club reopening because we were closed for the summer. And tonight it's starting back up again, so I have to get ready for that there. So, guys, thanks for tuning into the live stream here. I will let you guys know when the next one's going to come out. It'll probably be maybe later this week. I might maybe do one on Saturday, starting off the whole renovation process here. But again, keep an eye out because you never know what might happen. Changes might be made or whatnot here. Anyway, thanks for tuning in here, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll just see if there's any last comments. Oh, frick, there are a few more comments coming through. Yeah, it's just general ones here. All right, guys, take care, all the best, and oh, get the camera. Right, I'll see you soon. All right, take care, bye bye.